We're reading all the themes set to drive markets this week. Pete McGuire from XM joins us now live. Pete, great to have you in on this Monday. Look, I've just had a look at your note there this morning. You said it's going to be an electric week when it comes to news. So what's on the top of your list when it comes to looking at your trading screens? What's that big data piece that you're looking for?
Well, good morning, Kara. Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a big week. I really have got to stay focused as far as what happens Wednesday with the RBNZ. Are they going to be the first cab off the rank? And by the looks of it, yes, the market's pretty well priced in, Kara, a 0.25% rise. And there's a 20% probability that you're going to see 0.5. So that gives us an idea where the Kiwi's going to go. So that's going to be, I think, a dynamic week for currency traders. And I'm looking at the market, it's around about 70.42 for the Kiwi at the moment. So I think that's one we've got to keep a very close eye on.
So how does that then play into the US dollar story? Of course, we had those confidence numbers out on Friday, a bit of a slump there, some trade data as well that was pretty muted. But where does the US dollar story fit into this central bank divergence now that we are seeing from the RBNZ?
Absolutely, and that US dollar index is currently sitting at about 92.58. I think you could see a little bit more pressure to the downside for the US dollar. The talks as far as taper cuts and what happens there, and that's just a work in progress. So we've just got to keep an eye on that one. And the US dollar could, go back down to that 92.2, 92.3 sort of handle in I'd say over possibly the next week. I'm keeping an eye also on gold prices. After this time last week, it's nearly moved $100 down and then $100 recovery. So that gives you an idea of the volatility in the markets. And really that upward swing as far as the continued drive forward with the overall performance of the Dow, Kara. So yeah, that's what I think all traders are keeping a mindful eye. Traditionally, August is quiet, but at the moment, there's those groundswells seem to be creating a little bit of interest.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Pete, that we do still have this risk-on sentiment at the moment, particularly in the US. As you said, some volatility in those commodity markets, but it's not filtering through into the local unit, is it? It's really consolidating around that 73.50 mark.
Yeah, well, there's no real drive forward. I mean, we've got lockdown here, and I think that by the sounds of it, it's going to continue for a while yet. So that really is, I think, taking the pressure off the Aussie. Unemployment numbers are low. Are we going to see? I mean, we're in a lot of ways, Kara. I think we've mirror imaged pretty much what the Kiwi is and their mantra: high booming real estate prices. Well, that seems to be a national obsession here. Inflation is very, very strong. So really, are we going to be that far behind? Our central bankers are saying it's going to happen in 23 as far as a rate rise. That divergence and that story is going to create, I think, a lot of interest for all traders over the next 3 to 6 months leading up to Christmas, and certainly into that January, February summer period.
And Pete, a barrage of data coming out of the UK as well. Sterling looks like it might want to push a little bit higher. How are you seeing that UK economy at the moment?
Well, it might push a little bit higher, but it's still sitting at that 138.67. I'm just seeing there on the note. So you might see back to that 140 mark. UK economy overall is doing quite well. It's been a nice summer period as far as trade. I think everyone's rejoicing there. They're getting back to life and feeling pretty good in themselves. So hopefully that momentum can continue and naturally wash across the continent. So there's the storyline there. I think the overall confidence is fairly strong, Kara, and that's not a bad sign. Hopefully it's going to be contagious and wash across the rest of the world.
Contagious. I like it, Pete. Have a great day. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Kara.